Okay guys, so the first time I recorded this video, it was like 40 minutes long. I was a nervous mess because this is not anything that I've put out before. It is kind of along the lines of how I got over my fears, the Olay video that I did back in July, but it's definitely more spiritual. There's so much I want to tell you, but I feel like there's an important message that I am supposed to give out to help someone possibly along their process of healing or start their healing process. Just kind of share what I've learned so far. And we're always on this journey of learning. Like, we never know sometimes we don't know anything. We never know everything. So this is a journey I'm on. I haven't figured all of it out yet. I'm still kind of like a baby at this. So I want to share what I've learned so far, how it has helped me. And this is definitely spiritual. And I want to make this disclaimer now. I am now about trying to stay at the highest vibration I possibly can. It's not possible at all times. We're human. But I want to differentiate. This is not a video about religion. If you followed me on my personal Instagram and you watched my entire live, you remember maybe some of the things I said about the issues I had with organized religion and how I did grow up going to church, and what took me, why I withdrew, and the things that just didn't sit well with my spirit, and I just felt like my soul wasn't being fed, and there was a lot of hypocrisy and just things I didn't agree with. And I felt like instead of bringing people together, it was more divisive. Like, it divided us, and that's not something I believe in. And I respect other people's opinions, their views. I absolutely believe in God. God is love. I believe in Jesus. I believe in ascended masters, angels, spirit guides. And recently, because of all the stuff I've been having to go through, I had to really start to believe about the negative energies and forces and spirits out there too. These type of attacks are real. And there's so much. My life has been a movie, but I really won't get into the story behind all of the betrayal, the backstabbing, and the way that negative energies and things can use people around you or in your life to literally attack you and bring you down to a lower vibration. So I want to focus on how you can take that, all of the negative things, the betrayal, the abuse, and things that happen to you, turn it around, put the focus on you, go within to start the healing process. And I am in the process of healing, so I will not discuss all of the things that have happened in detail. I will eventually, but I just feel like it wouldn't be the best thing for me to do right now, to just really go deep into things that happened, because I am still in the process of healing. But I think I'm far along enough right now in order to share what I've learned with you. So again, back to like the debates about religion and things like that. I don't want that in the comment section. I will definitely start to delete it, because I want the energy to remain positive on this video, because that's the point of it. And I just feel like going back and forth, even though you mean well, you may mean well, but the arguing about who's who and who did what and all of that in the comments, that actually makes it low vibrational, and it's doing the opposite of what it's supposed to do. So we're gonna lift this thing up and talk about this spiritual journey briefly that I went on, because that last video was 40 minutes and I'm already at like 5 minutes. So I need to get going. And yeah, I did start a spiritual journey. All of the things I was going through actually brought me on this path. And it's not like one of those, oh my gosh, I was going through so much and I called on God and I started praying to Jesus like, help me, and I only do it when I need help. Even though whenever you're going through something, there's absolutely nothing wrong if you hadn't talked to God in 5 years and you're going through something, you need to talk to God. Nothing wrong with that. But if you watched my Instagram live, you will understand how literally, like, I was led. There were signs to put me back on this path. And it's been amazing. It sounds like a movie. One of my friends, Tremo, shout out to Tremo, the comedian. Follow him on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all those things. He's super funny. But he texted me, check on me, see how I was doing. And he was like, I was telling him, he's like, so what kind of movie is this you living in? Like, is this a Lifetime or HBO? Or, you know, what is this, a BT movie? I was like, listen, it's a little bit of Lifetime and some BT drama mixed in there, along with, you know, some supernatural, spiritual stuff all up in here too. Like, just wait till you know. But I'm not going to go through all of the bad things that happened, because if you followed me on Instagram and stuff, you'll know I've been hacked. I have video proof. I have screenshots. I have proof that when I swipe up on a picture, it's showing that I'm taking my picture at a certain neighborhood, at a certain house. Like, this person that I suspected gave the name to detectives and everything. I had suspected this person from the start. My location, I hadn't realized, was actually showing up at that person's, you know, like where they stay or where their parents stay and stuff. It's like, all of that came. I was like, I told you this. Well, I thought it was multiple people, but that's already enough, giving them enough on this platform. But just know that there's proof of even that, and the supernatural, the negative things that they were trying to put on me to hold me back. Picture proof of some of those, like, spells or rituals. Yes, I did not believe a lot of this stuff, guys. And at one point I did turn my back on God. I wasn't an atheist or anything, but I just wasn't believing that a lot of the things that seemed magical and supernatural were really happening. I was like, well, India, you were sitting there saying you believe in Jesus and angels and stuff. Like, how did you not believe that, you know, there were bad things out there? But I guess because I had never seen it happen, or it hadn't happened to me. And a lot of it is like energy, just like putting just this negative energy on you and things that were happening. Ugh. Got the proof. Just know that you'll know whenever it's the right time. But this is not the time. I need to help or send out a message of like how I started the healing process, because it took a while. This has been a journey. I mean, this has been a lifetime journey, but it really kicked into gear this summer. Something happened and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What's hitting me? But I had to really, after, in that video where I talked about therapy and going to therapy and, you know, working on myself, going within, I hadn't gone within enough. Like, I hadn't done enough soul searching, and that's what you really have to do. You cannot allow these past hurts, the abuse, the betrayal, the backstabbing, you cannot allow it to take your power and continue to have your power. And you allow it to take your power whenever you stay in that energy. And that means whenever you keep playing it over in your head, and then you get into this victim mentality. Like, I was doing that. Like, I was like, why me? Why, you know, why does this keep happening to me? I'm a good person. I don't put this out. I don't put out this kind of energy. Why? And I can't do this. I can't do that. And that negative energy, the law of attraction, is real. I was manifesting that. And I had to take back my power. And by taking back my power, I started to go within to heal. And I had to learn that you can't look outside of yourself, again, for validation. You can't look outside of yourself for an apology from somebody that did something wrong, like did something terrible to you. You can't, you know, look for the closure, and you just can't, because sometimes you're just not going to get it. And they have to learn in their own time, in their own way, and on their own journey. And sometimes I know it seems unfair, like you're just like asking for karma. It's like, I hope they get what they deserve. Like, that was me, like, functioning in that low vibration, because I was just like, this is horrible. Like, why? And then I started thinking back on all of the things that had happened to me from a kid and as a teenager, and then as this, and then I was just like, I don't do anything, God. Like, why me? So I had to get out and push myself out of that energy and really start to look, well, India, what did you bring to the situation? And like things with kids, like, listen, I ain't making excuses for anybody, anyone. And I'm gonna tell you how I went to go to heal in my inner child to start that process. But like, whenever I started reacting to some of the things and I wasn't getting the answers that I wanted, and I really thought I wanted the truth, and I still don't have the full truth with a lot of stuff that's going on, but I soon learned it like, no, you weren't ready for the truth. You were not ready for the truth, because the way you were reacting and the way, you know, you were coming at the situation, and it's like, if you would have got the truth and you thought you were ready, you probably would have went looking for some kitchen knives or something, you know. Like, I wasn't ready, and I had to get to a place where it's just like, if they never apologize, if they never admit what they did, if they never, you know, if, you know, any of that, if that never happens, it's just like, I am okay, because I'm going to move forward. I am going to continue to vibrate and let my light shine. Okay, so let's say like there's past abuse as a child, whether it was physically or emotional, abandonment, just feeling neglected, or past hurts from relationships, loved ones, like just that hurt that just hurts you deep down in your soul, make you want to curl up and cry, just make you want to give up. You don't want to get out of bed when depression hits you, like you just sitting there, you just confused, like, how, why, what did I ever do to deserve this? Like, this kind of hurt. Just know you're not alone, and you don't need to suffer by yourself. And I felt like I started trying to find the lessons out of all of this, right? Started looking for the light in the darkness with everything that's been going on, trying to find and reach and grasp for that light. Like, there's something in here for me that I was supposed to get out of this. So I did. I found light in just things like when my devices were sent off for a whole month for investigators to, you know, I mean, I really feel like I didn't really get much out of the investigation, or maybe some things just weren't as clear, but they were gone for a month, right? All of my stuff, and I was disconnected, and I started looking like, they don't want me to work, I can't make money, I can't do YouTube, I can't put out content. I was looking at all the negative things. And then further along the healing process, I realized, I was like, number one, I was meant to go on this spiritual journey, and I had to detach from the social media, just the world. Literally, I had to detach in order to go within, because I would have been too distracted trying to record, trying to, you know, keep up with people. Like, I don't watch TV really anymore, and I never would have thought that was me. Like, I would love binge watching shows, Netflix. I looked at all the shows I recorded and how I missed like all the seasons except for Insecure. I did watch that, but even with watching that, like, I would be behind like 3 episodes and be happy like, ooh, I get to watch 3 episodes in a row, because the episodes are short and I really hate when they go off. Like, I was so detached. Like, I wasn't watching TV. I wasn't looking at the type of videos I used to. I wasn't just on just any of the stuff I used to be like wasting my time on, really. And I was actually doing a lot of soul searching. So that is the blessing I found in that lesson. Like, I had to just turn that energy around and get out of that lower vibrational stuff. It's like, you know what? If you continue to give them, talk about them, think about them, what they're doing, you know, spending all your time investigating, you know, doing the investigator's job, you're doing what they want you to do. You're not balanced. You are in this low vibration, so you're attracting more negativity. And it was just like, you got to pull yourself up and out of that and turn it around and give all that energy to you, so that you can then be your best self to help others. So how do you go within? I was just like, well, what, like, I mean, I talked about it in that video, but excuse me, how do you really go within? And one of the things I did, because it's like whenever you're replaying these events over in your head, and I had talked about this in therapy, and then you start thinking about other bad things that happened to you, and you hadn't really dealt with that, and you hadn't really dealt with that. And then when you do try to deal with the situations and you don't get the reaction you want, I had to look at how I approach the situation. It's like, well, you did kind of go from 0 to 100. You kind of approached it aggressively, or even if I didn't approach it aggressive, as soon as I was triggered by something the other person said, it was 0 to 100, right? So I was like, what's in you that's so angry or so mad or so offended, so hurt? So I started peeling back the layers. And it's like, okay, I acted like this in this situation, and what caused me to react like that, until I got down to just some stuff that happened whenever I was a kid, and how I became a certain type of person, how I attracted certain relationships, certain people. And sometimes whenever you're hurt, or any type of abuse has happened, you tend to kind of go one way or the other. Like you put up this protection, right? You protect your heart. You want to be guarded. And sometimes you do it in a way where it's kind of like you close off your heart, but not quite a bit. And then you turn into like, but you still want to make people happy. You turn to this people pleaser. You put your needs on the back burner, and you really just want to make people happy to the point where you stop taking care of yourself, and you're neglecting yourself, and you're letting people use you and abuse you. Or you can go the other way around, where you are so guarded, so blocked off. You're like, I'm never letting that happen again. You have this hard shell on, and you are not empathetic to other people's feelings. You care more about yourself. And these are just like some extremes, but it's like, it's good for everybody to fall somewhere in the middle. You need to have some, I guess you could say, narcissistic traits, and you need to have some empathetic traits, and to balance. Because you still need to take care of yourself, but you don't need to be selfish to the point where you disregard others and you don't care for others, if that makes any sense. And sometimes whenever we're hurt, we kind of go one way or the other sometimes. Not always the case. I'm just giving an example. And you then have to start thinking about, well, this person that did this to me acted like this, and then I realized, like, I was in a relationship like that, and then another relationship like that. Not only that, but I had friends that kind of did things like that. And it's just like, why are you, instead of saying, oh my gosh, these people are so bad, da da da, you know, looking at everyone else but yourself, why are you attracting those type of people? What about you is attracting those type of people and that type of energy? So that's one of the things where it's like, look at yourself, heal yourself, fix yourself, look at the things you can change about you, and you'll be good. You won't ever have to have that apology. You won't ever have to know everything that happened, even though sometimes you really just want to know. Like, it's just like, why can't you just admit it? But it's just like, you know what? I'm good. I know better now. And you have those boundaries now. It's just, I've learned a lot. So one of the ways I started peeling back those layers to heal the inner child is literally what was missing, the protection that you end up putting up, you know, around your heart, the protection that I needed, that I felt I needed from an adult, or from, you know, just what I needed at the time. I became that for myself. So I would close my eyes, you visualize you, this adult, like this responsible, loving, caring adult that loves this child that's you so much. You're protected, like you've been protecting your heart. At any cost, you go back in time and you into that moment, because a lot of these moments are really fresh to us, and you hold yourself like adult you holding child you know, being that shoulder that you can lean on, and saying those loving, caring, kind words, letting them know, like, no, this situation was not okay, this was not right, but you will be okay. You're gonna make it through this. You're gonna do amazing things. You're great. You are not this. You are not like all these bad things that we tell you. You are not that person. No, we're gonna say positive affirmations. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are, and you know, all of these things like that to help fill those voids and that pain that you're latching onto. Go back and be that love for yourself, and it's literally loving yourself, right? And just doing that until it's just like, you know, you're healing those situations, because it's like you can't look for the validation outside of yourself, because it may never come. And then what are you gonna do, just be stuck in that? No, because that's exactly what the abuser at that time wanted. Like, they wanted you to be stuck in that. And not only do you need to go within to heal yourself and learn to love yourself, and I'll talk about how it's just like when you know you're not alone. And, you know, whenever I was going through my spiritual process, and at one point I was just like, well, how could God let this happen to somebody? How could God let this happen to kids and happen to me? You know, just, I was questioning everything. And I was like, I've realized through this process, like, no, God had never left you, because God is within. God is love. And whenever you find and accept that love within yourself, you're loving yourself to the point to where it's like, I'm not going to allow this to happen to me anymore, or I'm not going to allow it to happen to anyone else. Like, you're going to be that advocate for somebody that wasn't the advocate for you, right? You start to get this peace that starts to come over you, and this love. And that's whenever it's like, when some people are like, oh, you can't love unconditionally, or how can you forgive that person? And it's just like, you start to, because you love yourself and you're balancing yourself within, and you have this understanding, and you have forgiven yourself. Because I was beating myself up like, how did you not see this? You were so naive, or, you were so weak, and this, and I was just really saying bad things to myself. And I had to go back, you didn't know, like, you didn't understand at the time, or you just couldn't see it. Even though, I was like, it was right in front of you. Like, how could you not see it? I had to forgive myself, because I was beating myself up. So once I forgave myself and started to love myself, and I had more empathy towards myself, just giving myself a break. Because it's like, if everybody else is beating up on you, why are you beating up on you? So I did that, and it allows me to now look at the abuser, or the person that was wrong, that was wronging me, in a different light, and to have empathy and forgiveness for the situation. That is a hard thing to do. So if anyone tells you you're weak for forgiving or weak for loving, that is the strongest, one of the hardest things. You are strong, okay? You are strong. It takes a strong person to forgive, okay? It really does. And because you went and you did the soul searching and the homework and worked on yourself, you then realize it's like, hurt people. And this person, what they're doing to me, it's not about me. It's not, I didn't do any, like, this is not about me. It's about some stuff that they got going on, right? And you realize, like, they have layers they have to peel back, because there's a hurt person in there. And you want to lift them up, send them love and light, pray for them. That doesn't mean you put yourself back in that situation. You have your boundaries. You know what the situation is, and what you might, some people you got to detach from completely, stay away from them, but you still send love and light to that person, because you understand somewhere in there's some pain, there's some hurt, there's some darkness that light needs to be brought to. That doesn't mean you have to bring the light to it or put yourself back in that situation, but because each situation differs. But you find that love and compassion and that empathy for others, even if they have wronged you or hurt you. You find that forgiveness by going within yourself, forgiving yourself, loving yourself, and basically healing yourself, because you can't stay in that energy and let those things bring you down, and then they later spill out into other parts of your life. You're reacting to this person, and unconsciously you don't know why you're reacting to that person like that, and then it all stems back to something that happened in the past. So once you just dig up all of those things, that's in the last video I was talking about, like those ugly parts, those things that we don't want to talk about, and we acknowledge the pain. It happened. That's a part of life. There is pain and suffering. We acknowledge it. We cry. We allow ourselves to feel it. Like, that's another issue where we feel like we're tough if we don't show, our feelings, and that we were hurt or whatever. We don't allow ourselves to feel the pain. That was a part of me, my life story, my situation. And if I love all of me and I accept all of me, I have to accept and acknowledge that happened, feel that pain, but I don't stay stuck in that energy. I don't have to stay there. I acknowledge it. It happened. Because when we don't acknowledge it, we tuck it back there, and it gets buried down in our, subconscious, and it just wreaks havoc in our lives. And then it's like we don't even really realize it. So whenever you acknowledge it, and then you look for the light, you go back, heal it, think of the lessons you've learned, the lessons you can take out of that, the blessings you can take. It's like, ooh, dodged a bullet there. Like, just finding the lessons that you can use to basically make sure you don't make the same mistakes or put yourself in that situation again. I mean, this may not pertain to your situation. Each one's different, but just even if you feel like there's nothing there to find, it's just like knowing what you've come through and where you're at and how you are now a stronger person, especially because you can find the love and the compassion and the empathy within you to just understand it's like, that was not about me. That's not you. I'm not, any of these negative things somebody may have said to you, lashed out on you, hit you, assaulted you any kind of way. Because I mean, this could be on trauma is different from everybody. It could be on this type of scale. And sometimes little things really add up. Some people are very manipulative and they know what they're doing and they know how to basically, make you tick. And they'll do it just to because there's something in them that's actually hurting and they're hurting someone else. And it's just not giving them your power. Okay, if that makes any sense. I hope I'm saying this. There's so much I want to say and so much I've learned on this spiritual journey, but I feel like I'm going through this healing process and there's so much I want to share with you. And that 40-minute video, I'm thinking about putting it on my other channel, and I was definitely a little more lively in it, but I was out of focus. I had some white stuff in my hair. It's very informal, but I may put that on my other channel because it's just like, I share this channel with my sister, so I'm just not gonna put anything up here. And this one's definitely more polished, but there was so much that I wanted to say, and it's just like, we don't give them your energy. You stay in this high vibration and you become this better person so that you can be the best you, the best mom or dad, best brother or sister, best friend, best husband or wife. Basically, you have to be the best you for yourself first, and loving yourself in order for you to be good for everyone else, and to put out and do what you were put on this earth to do, your life purpose. And staying in those low vibrational energies, not only are you going to keep attracting the negativity, but you're not going to, basically, if you feel like you're stuck and not making progress, you're remaining stuck. And that was something that was happening to me as I was learning this lesson. I'm like, why do I keep repeating these cycles? Why does this keep happening? Because I hadn't learned my lesson yet, because I'm sitting here looking at everyone like they're doing the wrong thing. Like, well, India, what could you do to, number one, get yourself out of this situation where they can't do that anymore? Take your power back, detach. And they're just different scenarios, different situations that it involves multiple people. But if I would have stayed in that energy, number one, you wouldn't have gotten one video out of me at all this summer. I did not do a lot of videos though, because I was really, I was stuck in it. But I see it's just like, if they're on my phone stalking and watching and doing these things, like, let them watch me shine. Watch me shine. Watch me do my thing. Watch me be great then. Until that's figured out, then, that's resolved. Like, watch me be great, because you're not going to stop me. You're not going to bring me down to the lower vibrations. I'm going to stay up on this high vibration. And I know life happens. At times we get into those lower vibrations, but we got to snap out of it and get ourselves back up, right? There's no, you can't just stay in a high vibration all the time. It's just like nobody's doing it right now. It's definitely been a spiritual journey. There's so much I've learned, so many things that have happened. Literally sounds like a movie. And I did really almost have a whole hour video talking to y'all about this, and I was like, no, you got to cut it down. What is this, a 20-minute video? I mean, at least it's over 20. Oh my god, it's a 30-minute video. I guess it's meant to be. But I may be posting something on my other channel. I'll post all my individual links below along with my sisters and all of our stuff. So thank you for watching. I hope this helped. Peace, love, and light to everybody. Even if this helped one person, because now it's a 30-minute video. I'm thinking I'm at 20 minutes. But obviously, I still had a lot to say. Even if this helped one, I was supposed to put this out there for you. So if this helped you get through it, let me know what else you want to see or hear more of down below in the comments. We don't want any low vibrational stuff in the comments. We want to keep this high and positive. Sending love and light to all of you. I will post more about my journey and any of the things I missed. I mean, this is the first one I'm really putting out there like this. So just let me know. Hopefully this helped. Thanks so much. Peace, love, and light.